Without further ado, go right away to our second rapid-fire speaker, who is Professor Jim Jones. He's a distinguished professor and director of the Florida Climate Institute, and he's currently at the National Science Foundation here in the larger DC area. And he's going to talk to us about merging yield improvements with policy change to ensure yield growth under scarcity. And I think he's going to give us an example from Ghana. Thank you very much. Please welcome Jim Jones.
Hi, Claudia, and first of all, I would like to thank you for inviting me here. It's such an honor to be here to help celebrate Mark's distinguished career here at IFPRI. His career has touched many people all over the world, and it certainly touched ours at the University of Florida there, and we've collaborated very closely with IFPRI, and including Mark and others here as well. One thing I would like to point out is that there has been increasing collaboration between the biophysical scientists and the economic and social scientists in agricultural research. And I think part of that is due to institutions like IFPRI. And there are also certain agencies in the U.S. that basically insist on policy and socioeconomic researchers to be components of interdisciplinary research to solve the pressing problems that we face. And so there are many problems where, many examples where this maybe has not been done, and you could give counterexamples, but I'm going to give one that we did in Ghana, and it's going down from the bird's eye level that Prabhu talked about to a very specific case in Ghana, and it was a USAID-funded project that Ken Booty and I were working on from the University of Florida, working with Jesse Knabb, who was the one of the researchers in Ghana, living up in the northwestern part of Ghana, and it deals with peanuts. Peanuts or groundnuts is a major crop for Ghana. It's a food crop, but it's also a cash crop. And there are a lot of local markets in the area. There's trade in the region, and also some international trade as well. The problem with this is that their yields have been extremely low. Their yields were in the order of a half ton per hectare. Some of them were even less than that. And there were a number of suggestions about why those yields were so low, some of them dealing with drought. So what do? You breed a new variety and it's more drought resistant. Part of them due to low fertility, phosphorus, for example, for peanuts. And some of them were associated with management. So we went there, and we used a combination of biophysical models and on-station research and on-farm research to show over a period of 5 years that the main problem really wasn't any of those that I've mentioned already. And we first of all use the biophysical models and the experiments to establish a potential yield, trying to take away all of the constraints. And then we did a diagnostics using both the experiments and also the biophysical model for peanuts. We found out that the real constraint there was disease, foliar disease. Every year the farmers would notice, and it happens in the U.S. too if we don't use some fungicides, but it really destroys the canopy before the crop is mature, and therefore a lot of potential yield is lost due to that. Well, it turns out that there was a policy against having fungicides imported into Ghana, and so Jesse and others there did an analysis of that, and they found out that it's a national policy, and so they had to start locally and go all the way to the capital to get a policy changed. That was changed because of the interest of the growers, the Extension Service, and the researchers who had witnessed this, both from field research, on-farm research, and also the biophysical research as well. So I think that's just one of many problems, diagnosing what these things are. We participated also in the Global Futures Project that IFPRI led for a number of years, and in that it was had a very innovative goal of analyzing the benefits of investments in research by the different centers in terms of breeding goals primarily. And so what this work pointed out is that there's not only breeding that needs to be done, but also management and pest control in some of these high-value crops like groundnuts. So, Mark, thanks again for a great career and collaboration that we've had over the number of years. Thank you.
Thank you for an excellent example that shows how biophysical scientists and social scientists need to work together to achieve lasting yield growth. Excellent.